The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Real Pickles, a worker-owned cooperative in Greenfield producing organic fermented vegetables sourced from Northeast farms. More information at realpickles.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar in Hatfield, dedicated to custom solar installations, electric vehicle charging solutions, and reliable long-term system support. northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, music for mushrooms. And people, too, with multidisciplinary artist East Forest will perform at the Hope Center for the Arts in Springfield this Sunday.
And we'll get an important lesson that also happens to be the title of an Elvis Costello song at Tip Top Wine Shop that will be informative for everyone's wine journeys.
But first, we head to Greenfield, where littles of all walks are learning how to better walk together.
And where we can all help this chapter of education to continue.
This is the only school that I know of that I've ever been to where you have to cross a moat to get in. But there are literally two bridges before you enter what I think of as the brand new Greenfield Center School in Greenfield. But this campus opened just a couple years ago, and this is the first time I've been here. And Khalees, you have a fun connection to why we're here, a little bit of full disclosure.
Full disclosure, one of the teachers here, Emily Redman, formerly Buck, is a college friend of mine. We were in the same singing group, so we're pretty close.
So acapella brings us here.
Acapella brings us here. I sang with Buck for years.
But the Greenfield Center School is a nonprofit, and it is a mission-driven school.
I'm Lauren Obregon. I'm one of the two interim co-heads of school.
Amanda Richard, the other interim co-head of school.
It is so progressive that there's interim co-heads of school. No consolidated leadership here.
I'm Ashley Haslett. I'm on the board of directors, and I'm a parent.
I'm Emily Redman. I'm the director of admissions and advancement. I'm also a parent.
An aforementioned a cappella singer.
Yes.
Kenyon class of 0301.
You just got us some hot apple cider that the kids here pressed.
Yes, just this Wednesday we had our second annual field day. So all grades were out on the field doing a whole bunch of really fun fall experiences. And so we do have a cider press in our midst. Another family actually donated a bunch of apples from their farm. And so the kids pressed the apples, and now we get to have the most delicious hot apple cider.
The school is in the middle of doing something pretty interesting. Their philosophy is interesting in the beginning, but they're in the middle of a fundraising campaign to continue doing that.
So we are in the middle of a $1 million Save the School campaign right now. We have a problem with our operating deficit. A lot of economic demographic factors have really brought us to this point. Within Franklin County, there are fewer students. We have a lot of economic uncertainty right now that's happening, and that makes independent education a little bit of a harder decision for a lot of our local families. On top of moving to this beautiful campus, which we are still paying down, we are trying to also right-size our budget and get us back on track. So we are leaning into our community. We are asking for resources. We're asking for introductions. We're one of the beacons of progressive education here, and we think it's pretty special and worth leaning into.
About how many kids go here? From what age to what age?
We currently have 115 students from about 18 months at the start of the year through 8th grade.
And the other thing, being a private school, I mean, there's a lot of very reputable private schools in the area. Deerfield Academy, the Prince of Jordan will show up there, or Tom Brady's child, Kennedy's, things like that. And it can be expensive to do private school, but one of the things that I've always thought was interesting about the Greenfield Center School is that while it is a private school, it is a nonprofit, and there is sort of like a need-based way that kids, even if they're not from a family that is well endowed, can come here.
We give out percentage-wise more financial aid than almost any school in the Valley. When we look at our operating budget and with what our tuition would be if we were bringing it in, we give out about 30% of that. So some years that's about $500,000 worth of tuition assistance. Other years it's been up to as much as $750,000 worth of tuition assistance. My family, when we joined the center school, we're not private school family. Did not think it was possible for us at all, but because of the generous tuition assistance, all three of my kids were able to go here.
How does that financial aid tie into the general philosophy of how you teach here at the center school? Because I feel like they're integrated.
They definitely are. So the center school seeks to have a diverse community. So we're looking to have socioeconomic diversity, racial diversity, learning style diversity. Lots of our kids
come from homes that in certain parts of the country might not be considered what the average is with just one mom and one dad. So we have a lot of different ways that we seek to diversify our community.
We're a private school with a lowercase p.
When they're graduating, their end of time here project, which has a fancy name, but I forget what it's called.
It's an AP, an ambitious project.
An ambitious project is like, I rebuilt a Volkswagen Bug from scratch. It's that kind of school.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we've had kids for their ambitious projects. Last year we had one who made 100 portraits, 100 faces, everything from watercolors to charcoal sketches to oil paintings. We've had kids who've coded their own video games, built furniture. It's really just about like, what is it that interests you? How are you going to do it? And it's about the process, most of all. What do you do when the thing you're trying doesn't work out? How do you deal with that frustration? How do you learn from that? And then talking about it too. So getting up in front of your community and saying, here's what I did, here's what was hard, here's what I learned.
Show us around. We're walking by Old Man Greenfield Center School. Chris Sanborn, how many years have you been here?
23.
You're like the elder statesman of this place now?
I've been here 23 years.
What keeps you being here?
She was just mentioning projects class, right? So opportunity for kids who can explore different things they're interested in. Like we have kids who are really into hands-on, open-ended projects. They thrive in this school.
Okay, back to hauling carpet or whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Hauling carpet.
That is not some sort of euphemism. Literally what he's doing.
So we're going to make our way back to the uppers end of the building, our middle schoolers, 6th through 8th grade. We're going to pop in on the 8th grade math class.
Talk about the division of classes here.
We really have sort of like a dynamic mixed age classroom structure. So right now, the way that the classes are combined are we have 3 preschool classes, toddler, 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, a K1 outdoor classroom, 2nd, 3rd is together, 4th, 5th. 6th, 7th, and 8th are our uppers.
A lot of times you don't have the experience of being educated with people of different ages with you until you go to college,
Yes.
where you join an a cappella group.
That's exactly
and then
right.
you're friends for life. So it's
Exactly.
really good to imbue these kind of things sometimes, when you're growing up.
Yeah, and then you also get that chance to be the older kid and be helping and teaching younger kids. You get the chance to be the younger kid, learn from the older kids. It just builds and shifts the community in beautiful ways too.
We're wandering into the 8th grade uppers classroom here at the Greenfield Center School. Fleetwood Mac cranking in the back.
Is there tessellation music?
My name is Tess. I live in Greenfield. My name is Lyndon, and I live in Brattleboro.
What makes you like the Greenfield Center School?
We have a tight-knit community because our school is so small and a lot of freedom in academics.
Did you go to schools other than this before you came to Center School? Or have you been Center Schoolers for life?
We've both been here forever. I've joined when I was like 2.5. I've been here since I was 5 or 6 months old.
Whoa, I guess that's commitment.
You were here for the building change?
Yeah.
How
We were
different?
in 3rd grade.
How different does it feel here from the last school?
Our woods and outdoor areas are a lot different, and that was a lot to get used to, and so is the difference in the classrooms and how they were. The forest program started after we were already past K1, but from the looks of it, almost all the kids really enjoy it and learn a lot of important skills and learn to like the outdoors a lot more than other people in this generation.
Because it's kindergartners that are in an outdoor classroom all year long? Or?
Yeah, all year long. So they do have an indoor classroom. They'll come inside, if the weather's dangerous. If they are outside pretty much all the time. And there's just so much benefits in terms of gross motor, in terms of being able to scaffold sort of that learning and play and following the kids' interests and being outside. And they learn so much about taking care of themselves too, right? What do you do if you get too hot? What do you do if you get too cold? It's been a really great part of the program. And also all of our classes spend a lot of time outside, so.
Yeah, I noticed when I got here and crossed the moat, it seemed like everybody was outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So all of our classrooms have at least 2 outside movement times a day. Every class has their own woods classroom.
How do you feel about having to be outside for part of your day every day?
I think it's a nice break from sitting inside and staring at screens all day.
What is it that you're all working on over there?
We're working on making tessellations with pattern blocks, shapes.
And this is part of your math?
For a couple weeks, we've been learning about angles and measurements, so we're just doing something more fun using the information that we've learned the last couple of weeks.
Excellent.
To make wicked cool patterns that all fit with each other because the shapes just slot into each other because that's what tessellations do.
Yeah, like a honeycomb.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much for letting us crash your class.
We're going to wander back on down the hall. We're going to, I think we've got teacher Vanessa Ricketts is going to come say hi to us. She is both a teacher and an alumni, and you might hear Quest for Spinach being sung by the Mups right there.
Who are the Mups?
The Mups are our second, third grade class.
The Muppets.
The Muppets, yeah. And they really get into Quest for Spinach.
Is this a song? It's a song about spinach? So we're peeking in the classroom. I can see a piano and a drum kit and a bass guitar.
But that's also why our food drive is called the Quest for Spinach Food Drive, because this is a favorite song.
There it is.
That's the spinach chant.
That's exactly right.
Well, we're in the midst of getting ready for the March for the Food Bank, which is hoping to help to alleviate hunger. Tell us what the food drive situation is here.
Yeah, so we are, for the entire month of November, we are collecting food for the Food Bank of Western Massachusetts. The Franklin County Community Meals Program will be the direct recipients. And we do have some of our uppers, so 6th through 8th graders, and Ashley and myself, and we will be joining the march on Tuesday.
And you were there last year.
I was.
Thanks. I'll see you there.
More with the team at the Center School in Greenfield as we meet more of the teachers guiding the student body and hear some of the lessons they're teaching that shaped their methods.
After which, we'll learn about the ambient music and films of East Forest and an impromptu experience with cork taint for the Wine Thunderdome.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. I am curious about all the sculptures.
That was a presentation at All School this morning. The 6th grade had math sharing. And so their project was around finding the volume and surface area of these creations that they made out of cardboard and tape and paint and construction paper. And as you can see, most of them are Minecraft themed. And the kids shared both how they did it and their what was hard and what they felt most proud of. And the goggles on that puffer fish were both the biggest challenge and a source of real pride.
Minecraft is so angular. It's good for measurements and things. Yeah.
So
Hi.
This is Vanessa Ricketts.
Hi, Vanessa. Vanessa Ricketts, you're a teacher here. You teach in the uppers. What are you working on right now?
Right now, we are getting ready to make portfolios for conferences. Portfolios are slideshows that kids make that show their work over the trimester. And they're generating a list right now of the assignments that we've done in humanities class.
Like what?
Most recently, we've been doing some vocab work associated with the Negro Motorist Green Book. And one of the words was microaggression. And recently we went on a field trip to the local Dollar General and CVS to look at microaggressions live in action.
Wow.
One of them was the African American or textured hair products were located behind the actual counter, the register. And I was showing the kids how that is something that happens across the nation. We actually read articles about it and how other states are experiencing maybe some lawsuits around this same thing. So we got to see it live in action, and then we made a comparison to how products were displayed at CVS. And even though the products at CVS were a lot more obvious and mixed in with the other products, there was a lot less to choose from. So we're learning about the various things that we can see just by going around with a different lens.
Wow. That's an intense first-person perspective that I think a lot of people might miss.
Yes.
Unless you're living it every day.
Exactly the point.
Yeah.
But it also makes it on a level that makes the rest of seeing some of that a lot easier. So, it's a really good way to approach it for honestly anybody, but children are a lot more malleable in thought.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the main premise of this trimester is reading One Crazy Summer, which is a book about 3 young girls who visit their mother in Oakland, California, and they actually spend the summer working in the Black Panthers Center for Education and learning all sorts of things about being freedom fighters and something that they did not anticipate when they went to go visit their mom, and they came out different people.
That is not the One Crazy Summer that I thought it was, which was the 1980s movie.
Well, thank you very much. It feels good to be back here at the Club Tokyo.
Thanks for letting us interrupt your class.
We're going to keep on walking down the hall, and we're going to stop by right now we have 2 4th, 5th grade classes, and just check in with one of our middle teachers, Courtney.
Oh, and here's the thing that I missed because we were walking the other direction last time. There's the giant Quest for Spinach food drive, because food is a human right, it says, and there's all sorts of dry goods there that'll get donated. Wicked cool.
Courtney.
Hi, Courtney. I'm Monty. Khalees.
Courtney's one of our amazing middles teachers. Courtney's also a parent here, and Courtney loves math.
I have no idea what it's like to teach math to people of this age, please give me some insight.
Fourth grade is the best year to teach math. It's when math starts getting a bigger concept. It's a lot of concrete numbers and tangible things you can touch and feel and see before fourth grade. And fourth grade is where they start thinking about bigger ideas. My goal for fourth grade math is to finish the year feeling like good about math. I care much more about the way a math learner feels about math than about like what they learn, because fourth grade tends to also be a time when kids either decide they're good at math or they're not good at math. I want every kid in fourth grade to leave being like, I can do math. Sitting down and doing a worksheet is like the tiniest part of our math class. It's a lot of games and conversations and explaining your thinking. That's the biggest thing. You know the answer, but like, how do you know? Would you help someone else know what this means?
Great to meet you.
So this is our 4-year-old turning 5, so pre-K classroom. Intentionally, every single classroom has a door directly to the outside so that kids can get outside as much as possible. There's a lot of learning that can happen outside. It doesn't always have to be sitting at a table.
Similarly, in almost every classroom that we've gone to, there's been like both desk-y areas and cozier sitting spaces. Talk about trying to incorporate some of that comfort inside as well as out.
We like to think of all of the people in this building as humans first, and then students, teachers, parents, however, right? So I don't know about you, but I often don't just sit at a desk all day. I can't. So I might go sit somewhere else, right? I might sit on the floor. I might go sit on a couch. And so why would we not do the same for the younger people in the building?
And I think that's one of the things I've loved so much as a parent here as well, is that I feel like those options are offered to kids, and then kids are really encouraged to recognize that for themselves.
Also, there's books everywhere, which I feel is a dangerous habit to encourage.
Yeah, it's a gateway, right?
The books are literally everywhere.
And the titles of the books I'm seeing seem dangerous too. There's a book here about fry bread. There's a book there called Anti-Racist Baby.
You had Ta-Nehisi Coates in your lobby.
Not the real guy.
Yeah. Here's Sandy, who's one of our preschool teachers.
Hi, Sandy. Tell us what's exciting in preschool right now, Sandy.
Right now, we've been focusing on a lot of mixed age play. We've been hiking with the 2 and 3-year-olds. So that's
a chore.
No, it's wonderful.
If you'd like to do it in a timely fashion, it's a chore.
You have to be able to focus on the journey.
See, I'm always focused on the destination. Life's a destination. Okay. Isn't that how it goes?
You have to be willing to stop for every hole, every interesting leaf. But that's what we want, to notice things in nature, to be excited about it.
Did things change about the teaching here because of the pandemic?
Well, one thing that happened because of the pandemic is that our kindergarten and first grade shifted to a forest school model. And originally, I was teaching at that time as well as Amy, and we just knew that it was not developmentally appropriate for kindergartners to be learning on Zoom. That's not what they needed. And we had been interested in spending more time outside, so we just went full forest school. We're probably the only educators in the world who felt like the 2020-2021 school year was the best of our lives. Like seeing how the kids thrived to really like meet all the kids' needs in this amazing way outdoors was so inspiring. Even after the pandemic, we knew that we had to figure out ways to keep children outside as much as possible.
And as a parent of a kindergartner in that 2020-2021 school year, let me tell you, I felt the guilt that I think you felt as educators, as a parent, to be like, actually, my kid's going to school every day and he really loves it and he's growing a lot and he doesn't look at a screen.
No judgment. We had to do a lot of things we didn't want to do, but it's good when you get creative. A lot of creative things came out of that time frame too. And so now, and that continues now, but it probably would never have happened if not for the pandemic.
Right, and it's something I really appreciate about this school, where we have the flexibility, where we can try things out, we can make these big changes, and we have great support from admin and from parents. Like, it was a big deal for parents to drop their kid off at the side of the road and watch them walk into the forest.
I think that's how a lot of fairy tales begin.
When does your campaign end? Or does it end? Okay.
Because as we mentioned at the beginning, we're at the Greenfield Center School, and there is a deficit that the Greenfield Center School, with all of this innovative thinking this nonprofit school wants to continue to be able to do in one of the poorest counties in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Franklin County here in Greenfield, and they need to figure out how to close that $1 million gap.
I mean, we're an independent school. We are always raising money, right? We're a nonprofit. We always have to continue looking towards people that see our mission, that want to be a part of it, that want to continue this type of education in this area. When does it end? I mean, never. We do have a goal that we would like to get to.
We also work for a nonprofit. We understand that. The fundraising is never really done.
Yeah.
The big push is now, though.
Another way you can support the center school is a way that my family, full disclosure, has done for many years, which is the now legendary citrus sale, where a giant, delicious box of citrus. Chris!
It's Chris, you're the one who
Chris,
started
you're the
it.
citrus sale guy. Get over here! The citrus sale went away for a little while, did it?
It did.
But it's back in action now.
In our hearts, it's always been here.
You can support the center school and get a giant box or boxes of citrus, which my family has done many times. And tell us about the citrus.
Well, there's a little grove in Texas, right near the Rio Grande, it's owned by a family, the Stromeyers. Back when we started it 15, 20 years ago, we were looking for organic. There's tons of non-organic you can get, and you can make more money off that. But in true to our values, we wanted organic. So these guys were willing to partner with us and to send us fruit at cost. If you can split it with your friends and get a 40-pounder, is it still like less than $2 a pound? It's a really good deal. We get it here like 4 or 5 days after it's been picked.
When you come and pick up the citrus and you put it in the car and the smell, it's just like, it's usually in a kind of gloomy period of time, like the winter, so it enlivens your spirits.
That's the natural season for citrus, everybody who's looking for lemons in the summer. It's the wrong time of year.
It's yummy. And the uppers, the 8th and 7th and 6th graders, they help unload the truck and we inspect it for you. It's delicious. And then we make juice and then we sing songs about it.
We did this morning. We sang a song about citrus this morning.
Can I sing it again right now?
We don't have to.
It was Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg.
What a missed opportunity.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being
As promised. Thanks so much to everyone at the Center School, Lauren Obregon, Amanda Richard, Ashley Haslett, and especially Emily Redmond, who took time out to take us around their amazing facilities. You can find info both about their citrus sale and the campaign to save the Center School through their website, centerschool.net.
We'll meet multidisciplinary experience maker East Forest, who's bringing his music and film to Springfield this weekend.
After we learn an important lesson about cork taint in East Hampton and this week's Wine Thunderdome.
And in which we must bleep out the name of our tiebreaker for legal reasons, but we will bleep it out with a choo-choo train noise.
Because we are still us. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Hashi Pottery in 50 Arrow Gallery at Eastworks. Japanese-inspired ceramics and textiles, where every piece is handmade in the Pioneer Valley for home, ritual, or someone dear. HashiPottery.com.
The Wine Thunderdome has returned to the home of Mayor-elect and temporary Mayor Salem Derby, East Hampton, Massachusetts, at Tip Top Wine Shop.
That's a weird way to put that because you make it sound like he didn't win the...
He is both the interim mayor and the mayor-elect.
Yes.
So I wonder if that just makes him auto mayor or what, like there should be some new category.
Salem?
He's auto mayor because that's in the town, the city charter or whatever.
But if the interim mayor wins, they don't have to go through the whole...
He's mayor from day one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting fun fact here at Tip Top Wine Shop in East Hampton, which is the long way around to say, tie it into local politics. But here we are at Tip Top Wine Shop in East Hampton. Yes, with our friend, where we talked about the campaign last time we were here, but with Miranda Brown and Lauren Clark and Khalees. Yes. Sometimes we have a tie here that has even been broken by the former mayor, Nicole LaChapelle, one time when we were here, but you brought a tiebreaker.
I did. I brought my friend who works for Amtrak, which is one of the most thankless jobs ever, but she's very awesome at it.
I love riding the train. What do you do for Amtrak?
I work in the cafe car.
Oh, nice. Pro tip, you can bring your own booze on an Amtrak train and drink it because alcohol is served on the train. Is that correct? Let's just say somebody here has done that before under that assumption.
Just gonna say, it's not gonna get you kicked off.
Unless you're abrasive and terrible about it.
But that'll get you kicked off whether you've been drinking or not.
This is true.
But what about the Sutter Home that they sell on there?
We don't sell Sutter Home anymore.
What is it? What is it now?
Line 39 and...
Is it like train-themed wine?
A little bit.
Platform 9 3/4 wine?
9 3/4. Think you're being funny, do you?
And it's Kendall Jackson.
I am here for that.
The good stuff. Well, what's the good stuff?
Please don't call Kendall Jackson the good stuff.
What are we drinking here, though, at Tip Top, where the good stuff actually is?
2 Thanksgiving-ready red Burgundy wines.
Ooh. Burgundy, a place in France, and the red grape of Burgundy is
Pinot Noir.
It's my favorite of red grapes.
Do you have a Pinot region that you're particular to? Is it Burgundy?
This is it.
This is it?
Do you know about wine?
I like to drink it.
That's the most important part of wine drinking.
We should do like a giveaway where like you have to have no real wine knowledge or just like kind of like wine, but get to come drink with us.
I mean, we could maybe have made that our golden ticket. Actually, that would have made a lot more sense. Man, we missed an opportunity,
Well,
didn't we?
we have some good ideas for next year for either fund drives or food bank march related fundraising. But back to Burgundy. What are these two wines?
So we have a Louis Chanou Red Burgundy. It's pretty much an entry-level wine for the region, but really well done. I know the name is named after a guy named Louis, but actually it's his two daughters that are making the wine now.
This one has it just says Bourgogne on the label, which usually means it's not a very specific part of Burgundy. There are all sorts of the Côte d'Or and all these very little microclimates and regions throughout that area. But when it just says Bourgogne on the label, it usually means it's from anywhere there. Other things we've mentioned many times before on the show about Pinot Noir, if it's quote-unquote varietally correct, it should be light in color, so light that if you wore a watch, you'd be able to see what time it is through... Miranda is wearing a watch. Can you tell what time it is?
Yes, I can.
This smells like an old New England basement.
I mean, there is a slight chance that this could be a corked wine. My most recent Advocate wine column is all about corked wine and how to recognize it and why I drank an entire bottle of corked wine anyway.
It's a little musty. Oh.
Corked wine smells like wet newspaper, cardboard. Sometimes people say wet dog.
It just smells kind of like damp stone like you have in old New England basements.
Yes. I always, for Pinot Noir, get bricks, like earth, like dry earth. And I had that at the beginning when I first put this in the glass. Cork taint, which is just fun to say, is actually a chemical that you find in the bark of cork trees that makes its way into the cork, that makes its way into the wine, that can give it these sometimes volatile smells, but it is not harmful to you. It is why a lot of people have switched over to the quote-unquote Stelvin closure, which is a screw cap, because you avoid cork taint, which some people in the industry say amounts to as much as 10% of wine made with actual corks will suffer from it.
10%? That seems high.
Yeah, it varies on who you ask, but sometimes some people say as high as 17%, some people only say like 2%. Huh. But given how many wines I've drunk over the years, I have had only a smattering of corked wines.
Cork taint is a really great burlesque name if anybody is looking for one.
Aha!
But also, I'm getting that classic Pinot Noir cherry thing.
For me, the fruit went to sleep in this bottle. I think something got lost.
And again, it doesn't have anything to do with how the wine was made. It's just random. It may mean the next bottle of this exact same one that you even have in this store will not have that.
And we'll see when we go back if that changes with a little bit of oxygen.
Yeah.
I will say that I did open this a half hour before you guys got here.
Oh,
so
it will not see.
It has seen some air.
Okay. Works for Amtrak and is our tiebreaker. What's your route? Do you go different places on the train every day?
It varies. It depends. Right now it's DC to Springfield or DC to Vermont.
Like every day you're in Washington, D.C.
I mean, yeah, that's home.
Oh, cool.
Work this, then I'm off 2 days, go up to Vermont, come back from Vermont, off a day, repeat.
That seems fun to me.
It's pretty fun. It's interesting. You meet a lot of really cool people on the train. Get to see all the sights.
Okay. Wine number one again is...
Louis Chanou Bourgogne Rouge.
No fruit.
I still kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I'm getting acid. It doesn't seem super corked to me, but...
Whenever I know a wine is corked, I will go out of my way to experience it more so that I can learn more about it so that I'll know a wine is corked in the future. All right, what's wine number two?
Wine number two is Domaine Biard Santenay Les At, which is the name of the vineyard where this is from.
And Santenay is a little bit more of a narrower field, quite literally, in Burgundy.
Yeah, sub-appellation, I think you would call it. These are actually both Côte de Beaune in Burgundy.
Nice. Côte de Beaune is my burlesque name. I'm performing with cork taint tonight.
Look, I would go to this bill. This sounds like a real fun show.
Noble Rot, the metal band, is opening up.
Yeah.
I saw them in the basement of Pearl Street in 1995.
And they smelled like Pearl Street basement.
Smells exactly like cork taint.
Okay, so this second one, the Santenay, is dynamite.
Yeah.
Everything that was missing in the other one is in this one for what makes Burgundy in one of my favorite wine regions. What are you getting there, Lauren?
Definitely some earth, a little bit of spice, some nice sour cherry.
I got a lot of raspberry right off the bat.
Like bramble, like almost rosemary, herbal-y note.
You don't have to say anything. But do you have anything you want to say?
It has a really nice nose on it. It's lovely.
It smells amazing right away.
Oh my God, it's like luscious.
It's like good tension, good energy too.
If you're thinking Thanksgiving, it's got like a cranberry sauce, but not the cranberry sauce that comes in a can with the cool lines, but like an actual somebody made cranberry sauce with real cranberries, cranberry sauce kind of vibe going on.
Maybe a little violet?
Love that.
I think it's going to pair beautifully with stuffing.
And roasted squash. I can see this with like something that's got a little bit of some like orangey vegetable that's got a little bit of sugar on it.
There is no one magic wine that will go with all of the things that most U.S. Americans have for Thanksgiving dinner.
Which is why you should be drinking cider at Thanksgiving anyway.
Yes, that's a good idea, but that is also not going to go with every single thing. So get a couple different things and mix and match. We're going to go back and taste that Bourgogne, the Côte de Beaune. But we may have our first default, which, given how long we've been doing this, is good odds.
Yeah, it's rare, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Of course, on the day that I bring a tiebreaker.
But now when people are on the Amtrak and they get their Kendall Jackson, they'll be like, I don't like this, it's corked. And you'll be like, wrong, it's not corked, it's just gross. I'm not taking this back, you already bought it.
It's already over the counter. It's a done deal.
But if you do get a corked bottle of wine and you recognize this wet newspaper, wet cardboard, that kind of thing, bring it back to the wine store and let them taste it. I've witnessed many times at other wine stores where the wine purveyors there are very kind and it's clearly not corked and they clearly just don't like it. That's your dumb decision. They are a lot nicer at retail than I am. I'd be like, go yourself. This isn't corked. But when it is corked, the wine store should take it back. And then you bring it back to this, the person that sold it to you, and you usually get recouped, so you're not losing it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
On the return, this nose is now Camembert.
And cheese is not a good tasting note for Pinot Noir.
Not generally, no.
Yeah, no.
Again, I would still drink this whole thing. You're not going to be sick. I'm too lazy to bring it back to the store.
But is it corked?
I think so.
Which means this whole thing is kind of skewed.
That's what I'm saying. This is our first default in the wine. Corked wine is, again, not a reflection on the wine store. It's not a reflection on the wine label. It is just an arbitrary roll of the dice. Somewhere around 10% is going to experience it. There was an American winemaker whose name was Randall Graham, and he went to Grand Central Station, speaking of trains, and held a funeral for the cork because he thought the whole wine industry should switch over to screw caps to avoid the idea of cork taint. This was, I think, in the 90s. Oh, wow. And a lot of people at that point were like, if it's a screw cap, it cannot be a fine wine. And he really did a lot to bring people up to speed to say, like, no, you don't want to have to experience this 10% of the time. If you switch over to the screw cap, you're going to have better chances of having a better quality product more frequently. So he was correct in that way. Back to the Santenay.
Let's just have a little palate cleanser here. let's just enjoy the unanimous decision.
I feel like people should probably try the other one.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, again,
I would love to try another bottle of this, and I'm sure it's great.
I have tried another bottle of that, and it was delicious.
Yes.
So there we go. So I don't know. This bottle just got the shaft, I guess.
Yeah. It happens.
Every wine Thunderdome is a learning experience.
That's the whole point.
What is actually really funny about this, when I was opening this, the Santenay, the cork had started to come out just a little bit, and this is the one I was worried about. I was like, oh no, I wonder if the Santenay is problematic.
The other thing that's weird about corked wine is if you go to a fancy restaurant and they open the bottle in front of you, they will hand you the cork and you are supposed to smell it.
Yep.
You can't smell corked wine by smelling the cork. You can look at the cork and see how much bleed there's been in from the bottle, and if it's only at the very bottom of the cork, the oxygen has not gotten in that bottle and the wine has probably been preserved really well. If you look at the cork and it's blood red halfway up through the cork, there's been too much going on between the cork and that bottle and the oxygen outside that there could be a problem. But yet we traditionally smell the cork. I like to lick it in front of fancy sommeliers just to see how they react.
You should just swallow it.
Well, Burgundy is fat. You know Ken Nordine? Do you know him?
No.
He's like a spoken word jazz guy. He has a whole album about colors.
Burgundy.
And Burgundy is one of them, and that's how he describes it.
From the 60s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I've heard some of those.
I love that guy.
Is fat.
It's wild stuff.
I just went into my best Ken Nordine voice. Burgundy. Burgundy is fat.
Sorry to be so blunt.
And it is fat, with a PH. And it's a great idea for Thanksgiving.
One fun thing about the Santenay is that the vineyard, if you pronounce it in English, it's less hate. Just pointing that out.
Oh, yeah.
Aw, that's the message we want to bring to 2026, guys.
Yeah. And I'm feeling a little hopeful about that this week. Yep. Another cool thing that Tip Top is doing, though, next week is our friends, the musical couple from Franklin County, are coming. Are they doing a show here at the wine store?
They are doing a show here at the wine store, and as of this moment, I think there are 10 tickets left, so get on it.
Chris Delmerst and Jeffrey Foucault. Chris Delmerst, who has introduced to our show the concept of
Genre
agnostic music.
And I have to say, it was an absolute pleasure doing a show with her.
Oh yeah,
It was
because you
so
did
much
the
fun.
Tracy Chapman show at the
She
Iron
was
Horse.
part of the
with her.
lineup for the Tracy Chapman show.
Tracy Chapman tribute show.
I heard it was great.
It was super cool to be a backup singer for her.
She's a banger, man.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Foucault was just on a couple weeks ago with us again, and he's an incredible singer-songwriter, incredible storyteller. They're just going to be performing here in the wine shop.
They will be performing here in the wine shop Friday, November 14th.
It's a week from today.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We had one other show. My old touring buddy Eric Bachman played here in the summer. And that was kind of seeing how it went in here because our ceilings are 14 feet. So
It is a little bit echoey in here. It's natural reverb.
But that's nice. Like, if you're playing acoustic, that's killer. You don't have to bounce the sound as far to make sure everybody's hearing you.
Yeah, we don't even set up a PA. It sounds really cool, really good vibes. Yeah, we're going to do a little wine tasting from 8 to 9 and then the show from, 9 to 10:30 or whatever.
Fun.
Tell the people on your train.
Any pro tips for Amtrak riders?
Be patient. It's obviously very crowded on the train now. So if somebody's looking for a seat, move your stuff. Don't make the conductor make you move your stuff.
And if you're in the quiet car, please be quiet.
Please be quiet. Those people are ruthless. Do not do it. Do not talk. Do not be on the phone. Don't take a baby there. Just don't.
The last time that I was on the Amtrak, I took it down to New York to visit some friends. And I parked at Windsor Locks and hopped on the train because there's a lot right there. Mm-hmm. And I was coming back, and they're like, oh, Windsor's next, Windsor's next. I was like, great, and I got my stuff, and I got off the train, and I walk off the train, it's like 8 o'clock at night, and it's dark, and I was like, this doesn't look right. I don't see my car, because I got off at Windsor, not Windsor Locks.
So there's another pro tip. Remember where your car is.
Wait for Windsor Locks, if that's where your car
What,
is.
did you have to Uber?
Yes, that's
yeah.
exactly what I did.
Oh, yeah. And also, shell out for the insurance. It's worth it.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you learn today about the world of wine from Amtrak?
Corks. I did not know all that about corks. That's really fascinating. Like, I had no idea it had that much of an impact on the taste of wine, so.
Yeah. And next time you're at a fancy restaurant and the sommelier hands you the cork,
I'll make sure I'll chew it.
lick it, chew it. That's what you should do.
Every little wasted word and every little wasted smile.
This is Chris Delmerst, who, with Jeffrey Foucault, will be at Tip Top Wine Shop a week from today with a smattering of tickets left.
Yeah, go check their site for more info on that. Now to hear about the transcendental, multifaceted experiences created by East Forest, who'll perform at the Hope Center for the Arts in Springfield this Sunday.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering in-person and online graduate programs in public policy and data analytics. Admissions now open at umass.edu/SPP. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Comfort Bagel, scratch-made artisan sourdough bagels, spreads, and sandwiches for breakfast or lunch on Main Street in Westfield and at their new location in Holyoke at 92 Race Street. ComfortBagel.com.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. East Forest is a multidisciplinary artist, producer, speaker, and ceremony guide. Since 2008, East Forest's lush and blissful music has blended ambient, neoclassical, electronic, and avant-pop to explore sound as a tool for inner journeys and consciousness expansion.
One of the project's latest endeavors is the feature-length film Music for Mushrooms, a narrative documentary showcasing the transformative power of psychedelics, music, and community. The long-form 6-hour record, Lovingly, a soundtrack for the Psychedelic Practitioner Volume 3, serves as a musical answer to the film's central journey, providing an album to guide listeners on deep journeys of introspection from start to finish.
East Forest's extensive catalog includes over 30 albums and notable collaborations with artists such as John Hopkins, Ram Dass, DJ Anna, Laraji, Dead Prez, Nick Mulvey, and more. The project has performed in over 18 countries at major festivals and venues, including Bottle Rock, Beyond the Pale, South by Southwest, and others.
And this Sunday, he'll be bringing a music and video experience to Springfield, Massachusetts, performing at the brand new Hope Center for the Arts, Sunday, November 9th. East Forest, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm calling you from tour.
Oh,
so
fun.
Where are you right now?
We are on, I don't know. That's how tour goes.
That is how
Road,
we hear it goes
underpass.
for so many musicians, for sure.
Yeah.
Should we call you East Forest, or should we call you by your
Sure.
given name? Yes, cool.
Hey, I'm used to that.
Cool. Talk about the use of improvisation, because in reading about your music and reading about the album specifically, a lot of this is like first take, like really sort of getting the raw core of the music that you're making. So talk about the importance of getting those first takes.
Yeah, I think that's where the real magic happens, is when you can kind of get out of the way and allow something new to come through. It's definitely scary and can be vulnerable, but it's always where you can also be surprised. And there are a lot of times where I might listen back to recordings from live happenings, and I often think, like, where did that come from? And I honestly don't know. It's sort of where does all creativity come from? But I also just think it's a lot more special to co-create that with an audience, and especially today when things are so digital, and it feels almost like a kryptonite to be in a space where something's happening right in front of us that's more ephemeral.
Your new project, or one of your latest projects, the Music for Mushrooms project, is fascinating to me. It sounds like when I would put on The Wizard of Oz and then Dark Side of the Moon and see if they would synchronize when I was a kid. But this is a musical journey for a psychedelic experience, which we will say out there in most places is not currently legal. So we are not saying we are advocating for or denying people's rights to do this. It's just a thing that East Forest does. But where did the genesis for coming up with this 6-hour-long experience come from?
Yeah. Well, look, people have been doing this kind of work with various forms of plants for forever, really, as far back as we can see in human history. And certainly people are looking into these things now. And personally, I'm really interested in helping people have a good experience, because it can be challenging as well and traumatic at times if you don't really prepare.
Yeah, like,
And
can
I
you
think
shut
music-
the 6-hour-long record off at some point? Because that's what I'm always terrified about. How long is this going to last, man?
Yeah, you can turn the music off, but that's about it. Yeah. I think music's just a great guide. It can really do a lot of the work to help kind of hold your hand and show you the way. And it's something it's a really low entry point. Like, almost anyone could find these records of mine on wherever, YouTube, Spotify, and that could take them a lot of the way down the road. So I just think it's just a really amazing space to be in too, creatively, with the way music combines with altered states, even like breath work or forms of meditation and yoga. It's all kind of pointing down the same road, and it's one that's really just endless, that inner space.
When did you start incorporating more visual elements into the music that you were making, or tying those in?
More recently on this tour, because we're playing more shows that are seated, and I wanted something to just create a more dynamic live space. I'm really interested in the theatricality of it. I think it should be a good show. It doesn't matter if you're interested in mushrooms or anything like that or not. It should be good music that can stand on its own, and I just think visuals add a whole nother level of sort of like layers and depth for people to go into the experience.
And we are speaking with East Forest, who we misspoke before. The show is actually tomorrow, Saturday, November 8th at the Hope Center for the Arts. It's an evening of sonic ceremony and inner exploration. You know, when people go to a show, a performance, they have certain expectations of what it will be like. Will it be seated? Will it be standing? Will it be general admission? Will there be dancing? What happens at one of these evenings of sonic ceremony and inner exploration? Are people sitting on the floor and meditating? I won't try to make people divulge whether they are partaking in mushrooms or anything like that, but what's the experience like of one of these performances?
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a seated concert, I think, like any other, but there's an invitation there of depth emotionally that's just sort of equal to your level of vulnerability, but it's your choice. Some people do like to sit on the floor sometimes. Some people like to move around in the back. It's all good. I don't honestly think it's that different than any concert, but I aim for it to have a level of emotional depth that is available to anyone.
You got to work with the late Ram Dass. What was it like incorporating his work into yours?
And Ram Dass, for those who may not a musician, not known for his music.
No.
He may be a musician of his own right, but that's not what he's known for. He's a spiritualist, he's a guru, he's a psychologist, he's a writer, but not known for making albums.
Working with Ram Dass was incredible because he was someone who inspired me as a teacher from afar. So be able to sit with him back in 2018 in his home in Maui and ask him questions and record it and then put it to music. He just had an incredible way of speaking to our challenges right now in very poignant, very indelible ways. You know, he's like, they're all like little micro teachings that stand up today even more than it did 5-6 years ago. He's incredible. He's really incredible.
And in other strange and interesting collaboration news with East Forest, you also created the music for Deepak Chopra's video game, which, first off, Deepak Chopra, another kind of guru figure, having a video game, and that East Forest is the one who helped to make the music for it. Tell us more about that.
Or is it more like of a guided meditation sort of thing?
Both. It was a long time ago. It turns out that Deepak Chopra fans don't buy as many video games as, say, Call of Duty people. So instead of it being a first-person shooter, it was more of a first-person breathing, twisting, meditating. It was a cool game, cool concept, but it didn't quite take off.
Alas.
I know. It could have been better for everyone, maybe if it did.
I mean, definitely. Talk about your podcast, because a lot of your meditations that are recorded are sometimes incorporated into that, and you talk with a lot of different figures across many different creative outlets. Yeah, talk about getting into podcasts with some of your work.
Yeah, podcasts are fun. It's just like another medium to be able to really listen a lot to people, and it opens a lot of doors to have those conversations. And then I also expanded that into a Patreon where we do like a monthly council, and that's even more sharing and listening. And that's where a lot of the meditations were developed, because we're doing a lot of them, and we're improvising those too in the spaces together. And a lot of them do end up on the podcast, or we're talking about, meditation or science or creativity. So it's been a blast talking to, as you're right, I've talked to a lot of different types of people, and I feel like I've learned a lot. It's a different space when you just sit down to listen in that space than normal life.
I don't want to necessarily encourage kids to do drugs or whatever they say.
Please don't.
I know, but I mean, but psychedelics
stick with sugar
and mushroom. I know exactly, right. And mushrooms have been, as you mentioned, an important piece of the human puzzle for such a very long time. Even if you don't want to do psychedelics, but meditation is also an important piece of the human puzzle and has been mind expanding and altering for very many people. What has that meant for you as a human being and as a performer?
Well, I grew up in a household where my father was a rational materialist, and that's the worldview I had. And I personally really needed a strong medicine to crack through the shell that I was in, to really believe, to really feel something real. And the result of not having that early in my life was feeling quite depressed and anxious and just feeling that the world must have had more. But I didn't know how to find it or see it, and nothing was giving it to me. And so for me, when I had my first psychedelic experience that happened to be very positive, thank God, and when I started to incorporate music in certain ways, it just expanded and showed me a felt experience of what could be. And then it was no longer something it wasn't a concept out there in the void. It was something quite real and personal. And then you just discover over time that this is what has been, looked at or desired at for the ages through meditation, through yoga, really through religion. And so it's all around us, and there's many roads that lead to Rome. This is just one particular tool. But we have practice for a reason, meaning like we go into something repeatedly to step into that feeling and that mindset. And so it takes more than just having experience or having, you need community, you need support, and you need something that can get you there. That's what practice is. And that could be going on a walk. That could be free writing. That could be playing music. But it's different for everybody, but it's simple. And I think it's the simple things right in front of us. And I think music events coming together in concerts, live spaces, that's when it can be just like very amplified, very powerful, big moments of inspiration and remembering. And I hope that's what this will be.
And you have an opportunity to experience that for yourself tomorrow, Saturday, November 8th, at the Hope Center for the Arts in Springfield. We've been joined by the performer East Forest, who's bringing an evening of sonic ceremony and inner exploration to the Hope Center tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate it. Next week on the Fabulous 413, we talk with jazz legend Arturo Sandoval,
who's also at the Hope Center.
Mm-hmm.
We'll speak with author Alex Worth about On Loop.
We'll meld musical traditions together at Bombix for the Yearnings concert.
And we'll go play with toys as grown-ups at the Toy Box.
Yay!
I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Khalees. See you next week on the Fabulous 413.